The Renegade Series sequential LED taillights that we have here today should appeal to the 2010 through 2012 owners who dig that 13 and 14 taillight design, but don't want to spend the $1,000 to $2,000 to get a set of factory Ford taillights on their car. So I can't really think of a more highly anticipated part than this, right? An affordable aftermarket solution for the 13 and 14 style taillights, appealing to the 2010 through 2012 owners who really dig that look, but don't want to spend the big money on the OE factory Ford taillights, along with having to buy the separate adapter panels here to fill the gaps on the bumper on the earlier generation cars. Now instead, the Renegades will be a direct swap plug and play option that will be a fraction of the cost of the factory tails. They do include the extra panel gap filler here, and best of all, they're gonna look and perform exactly like the factory 13 and 14 taillights. And that leads us right into our features here with the Renegades. Again, these things are packing the 100% LED operation throughout, and that does include the 3 diffused LED rings or bars here that will act as your running light, along with your turn signals in conjunction with the LED blocks inside those rings, which will also handle your turn signal and braking duties. Now, big thing to mention here, guys, is that just like the factory taillights, the Renegades will also deliver that very cool sequential pattern for things like your turn signals and also your hazards. Finally, guys, the reverse lights are housed in that middle block, and they will feature the bright white LEDs for great visibility. Construction is going to be extremely similar to that of the factory Ford taillights here, with one big exception. Now, where those factory Ford tails utilize a red lens, or at least bar here, the Renegades, on the other hand, are going to use more of a smoked clear lens in this section, and that's going to kind of lend itself to more of that Euro style or Euro look that is very popular. Now, it is, I would say, a subtle change over the factory Ford tails, but one that you guys should definitely be aware of. Now, outside of that, I would say you're looking at a very durable polycarbonate lens, modern electronics loaded into the Renegades, and again, you are getting that black ABS plastic housing. Now, these options do include both the DOT and SAE stamp of approval. That just makes them legal for use in all 50 states, and they are also backed by a 1-year limited warranty in case you run into any issues. Now, getting into the pricing, the Renegades are going to land in that low to mid $500 range, which certainly puts these in the more premium category with the likes of Morimoto options, but still, I would say a fraction of the price of the factory Ford 13 and 14 taillights. So definitely something to consider when you're weighing your options, especially if you've been shopping for those more modern taillights. Install is going to get a pretty soft 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter here, gang, as this really is a true plug and play job that's not going to require any cutting, splicing, or permanent modification. Now, site's going to call this one about an hour to complete from start to finish, which I feel is being a bit generous considering just how easy of a job this really is. Regardless, what do you say we head out to the shop now for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown?
For this install, you will need a ratchet, 11mm socket, and a clip removal tool. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing some taillights on our Mustang, but before we get started, we're going to send you to watch a short video on how to uninstall your factory setup, and we'll see you when you get back.
So the first step of this install is going to be pop open your trunk lid and remove the interior trim panel that covers up the bolts for the taillights. It's going to be very simple with a trim panel tool, so let's get started. All right, so there's a couple of clips that we're going to have to pull out in order to get this panel off. One of them on each side here, down here at the bottom, and then at the top there is a plastic nut. Ours is missing. All you have to do is unscrew it with your fingers and it'll come right off, no problem. Now that you've got your clips undone, you can pull your panel back, unplug your interior light, and remove the panel. All right, now that we've got full access to our taillights, we need to unplug the connector and push the rubber grommet through the hole before we can undo our nuts. So now I'm just going to use an 11mm socket on a small impact driver to undo each of the 3 nuts that hold the taillight into the vehicle. Just pull my carpeting back a little bit.
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Now that we've shown you how to remove your factory setup, it's time to put our new taillights in. So first we're gonna grab our provided lower trim piece that goes onto our new setup, and we're gonna remove these covers off our adhesive backing. So we're just gonna peel those right off, like so. So now we can go ahead and grab our new taillight and install our trim piece on the bottom here. That's going to line up right with that leading edge. It should sit right in place like so. Get that seated on there nice. And that follows the edge of the bottom of the taillight right here. Now once we have that in place, we can go ahead and set our taillight into its spot. So now we'll go ahead and feed our connector through our grommet hole. Go ahead and get that grommet set. Just kind of pop that into place like so. We can go ahead and set this in and line up our bolt holes. Make sure that gets nice and seated. Then we can go ahead and reinstall our 11mm nuts on the backside. Now we'll go ahead and reinstall our 3 11mm nuts on our studs here. Pull back this trim. Then we'll tighten those back down with our 11mm socket on our ratchet. And once we have all 3 of those tightened down, we can go ahead and plug in our light. That goes right into the factory connector. Make sure that clips into place. And once you have this done for this side, you can go ahead and repeat these same steps for the other side. So now you have both of your taillights in, you can go ahead and reinstall our rear trim panel here. Go ahead and set that back into place. And we can go ahead and reinstall our push pins at the bottom here. Then you should also have your little plastic screw-in nuts at the top here. Now ours are lost to time due to previous installs and modifications of the car, but that's what you should be putting back on from the factory. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our Renegade Series sequential LED taillights and black housings and clear lenses for your 10 to 12 Mustang. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.